Open fire. Now that I have your attention.
Welcome to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast. As you can probably guess, we're going to get right into a breakdown of this Mandalorian Season 3 trailer. So, as we've done in the past, we're going to watch it all the way through, and then we'll break it down frame by frame. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. And get into this right here.
Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for? Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost. I'm going to Mandalore, so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
May the Force be with you!
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Hang on, kid. This is the way.
Okay, so let's jump back into it and break it down. And it's just a minute and 43 seconds, but there's a lot going on.
Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy.
I feel like he's talking to the armorer here, if not to other Mandalorians. And I think the idea is there's so few of us, we got to band together, which still has been an issue up until Mandalorian Season 2, because you have Bo-Katan, you have the armorer, Paz Vizsla, all those guys who are still kind of at odds, and it's like there's only so many of us left. Pretty cool. You have some shore trooper armor here, it looks like, on the Mandalorians. That's neat to see.
What are we? What do we stand for?
It's interesting, too, because in this picture here, you've got a much more, like, random assortment of armor here. But some of these helmets look like they used to be part of Bo-Katan's crew. So I wonder if that's part of the deal as well. Like, not just the regular T-shaped visors, but I want to say they're called the Night Owls, who have that triangular shape towards the front of their helmet or at the top of their visor.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight.
I think he's talking to Grogu here. I think this is a teaching moment, similar to what we got with Luke, kind of really teaching about the Jedi. I think this is Mando teaching Grogu about what it is to be a Mandalorian.
You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost.
Navarro, I assume, is looking really, really good. Grief Karga is just dripped to the gills. And then, yeah, you can tell it's Navarro because you have the statue of IG-11 there, which we'll get into in a little bit.
I'm going to Mandalore, so that I may be forgiven for my
Obviously, seeing Mandalore in live action is pretty freaking sick, too. And the city's just been completely decimated. Obviously, we got to see a little bit of backstory to that in Book of Boba.
Transgressions.
May the Force
This is an important scene for me because you've got the R5 unit from all the way back in A New Hope, back in the Naboo starfighter, and they're back on Tatooine, so I wonder if that means we're going to see Boba.
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening.
Of course, seeing Coruscant again is pretty sick. Anytime you get to see Coruscant, it's a treat. Hopefully, man, I would just love to see like what's going on. This is after the fall of the Empire. What's going on Coruscant? The last we would have seen this is the fall of the statue of Palpatine at the end of Return of the Jedi. So to see Coruscant post Episode 6 is pretty cool.
Out there. And by the
Dr. Pershing, of course, in charge of the cloning stuff that was going on with Grogu before. Wondering if he's like the very, very tail end of whatever we're seeing at Mount Tantus for the Bad Batch, if that's all connected or whatever. And is he part of the Snoke project?
time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Here we're on it looks like the mines or the caverns of Mandalore. Looking at some pretty old school Mandalorian helmet that's been down there for forever. Either that or it could be one of those things where that's just something that got destroyed during the Night of 1,000 Tears. But it's obviously been hit with some like atomic weapons or whatever. So it's been super, dated. Flashback again to Order 66 it's looking like. We're going to probably find out who saves Grogu, which is cool. And the more of his memory he unlocks, it seems like the more comfortable he is using the Force, the more powerful he becomes. In the Book of Boba, we saw him calm the Rancor without closing his eyes. And so I wonder if we're going to finally see who saves him.
Hang on.
We've got some TIE interceptors, I suppose, chasing down Mando. But he's not in the N1 here.
Kid.
So I'm wondering if this is actually Bo-Katan's ship. Or someone like that. If this is one of those Mandalorian starfighters. And they'll hang on, kid, Mando shot. Maybe this isn't actually him. This is a different scene where they're chasing down Bo-Katan. Something like that. I love this. It's like a droids only bar or something. Which of course would be the most unnerving thing for Mando, especially in season 1. Obviously droids have grown on him. It would be cool if like R5 is like, hang on, he's with me, something like that. And any chance to see the B1s back on screen is cool. Now I want to point this out. This looks like there's some kind of giant war on Navarro, some battle or something, because look, if you look right over here, this is where the statue of IG-11 was. So you have the Stormtrooper helmets right under his feet. And here are the two pieces of rebar that are the support struts for his legs. So if that's the case, then has the Empire and Moff Gideon and all them come back to retake Navarro from Greef Karga? And if the Mandalorians and the Covert left, obviously they were not there during Book of Boba Fett. Have they regrouped to kick the Empire back off of Navarro? What's happening here? Something's happening on Navarro where at the beginning of the season when Mando comes to meet Greef, it's very clean. It's very well kept. You have the statue of IG-11 in the town square. And now something's happened since then that everything's in disarray. You've got a dead Mando over here in the corner. Paz Vizsla's doing his thing. This is the money shot, and I'll tell you why.
This is the way.
Okay, so here's what my thing is. If you go back here, and we freeze our frame right here, I think we're on Mandalore here. I think we're in the caves on Mandalore, and the Mandalorian's looking to atone for his sins, to get back his, his honor and all that kind of stuff with the armorer. Here, I'm throwing this out there. I think this is a Tong. And the Tong are the very, very first Mandalorians from years and years and years ago. That's just, we haven't seen a creature like this before, unless I'm mistaken. I'm wondering if this is like, maybe they were, because in Legends, that's where the Mandalorians began. Obviously, the field's wide open for new stuff in canon. So, is this a moment where maybe they've been under the surface of Mandalore and the humans have been there, and now that the humans have been wiped out and kicked off of Mandalore, this native species of Mandalorian is coming back to the surface? Because they kind of look similar here.
This is the way.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, if that's the case, and we're pulling out some of those deep cuts, then if the Tong is there, then who's to say the Mythosaur isn't there as well? And if Din Djarin, if there's anything that can bring the clans back together, it's somebody riding a Mythosaur. I think that trumps the Darksaber in my opinion. So we'll see. Lots of cool stuff. If I missed anything, let me know. If you watch the trailer on Disney Plus, there's actually an extra little picture during the trailer, and it looks like, I can't tell if it's on Coruscant or another planet, but there's a fleet of Star Destroyers, or at least a handful of Star Destroyers being made, and there's two characters. It's just a split-second shot, but there's two characters that walk towards the Star Destroyers, and from seeing those people from a distance from behind, it almost looks like Eli Vanto and Grand Admiral Thrawn, just based on how they're standing and the kind of the relationship that you can pick up in just that split-second shot. But it would be interesting to see if that's the case. If you're not familiar, Eli Vanto is kind of Thrawn's Watson to his Sherlock Holmes in the Thrawn novels by Timothy Zahn. Thrawn Treason, and Thrawn Alliances. So it's interesting to see. So we'll see Thrawn, then Alliances, then Treason, in that order. So we'll see. I think maybe we're getting close to starting to bring all this Mandoverse stuff together. And who knows, maybe we'll get our first view of Thrawn in Mando and then in Ahsoka later. I don't know. Or maybe they'll just hint to him. But lots of really cool stuff. Hopefully we see Boba Fett again. Who knows? Thank you guys for tuning in. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. If you think I'm way off with the Mythosaur, am I being crazy? I don't know. But thanks for tuning in. May the Force be with you.